Hi, my name is Sarah Perales, and for this video I will be analyzing Morning at the Window by T.S. Eliot. The writing is just 2 stanzas, but there is a lot to be said and learned from this short poem. This poem presents observations depicting modern urban life. Before I start, I just want to provide some background information relating to the poem. It was written in 1914. World War I had just started. And these are crucial details because war leads to economic decline and poverty, a key theme in this poem. So T.S. Eliot, he utilizes a range of literary elements to optimize the purpose and nature of this piece. There is a substantial amount of descriptive imagery. Some examples include trampled edges of the street, brown waves of fog, and muddy skirts. And while reading, I was able to picture these scenes he was trying to create, and as a result, I understood what atmosphere he was trying to set. So his word choices have already set the dark and depressing mood of the setting that the observer is in. So earlier I had mentioned poverty. The reason I did is because this is a lifestyle of modern urban life. It is void of any hope, happiness, and life. There is just the presence of hardship, written as a series of observations. The line, "and along the trampled edges of the street," indicate that the streets have not been maintained, so they are worn out and tattered. The line, "the brown waves of fog toss up to me," point out that the air is dirty and hard to breathe. It also hints that the story is taking place in a large city where air quality is lower and poverty rates are higher. The lines, "I am aware of the damp souls of housemaids sprouting despondently at area gates," tells about the increasing cases of sadness happening to those who live in the city. The longer they're there, the more depressed people become. After consulting interestingliterature.com, I learned more about the characteristics of modern poetry. I gained a deeper understanding of what it is and how Morning at the Window embodies those traits. So modern writing, it tends to be pessimistic, interested in the ugly and dark side of life, has no rhythm, and consists of simplistic writing. These characteristics are exactly what Eliot focuses on throughout the poem. He writes about what real life is like. It's not always bright and full of hope, but full of despair and anguish and pain. He tells about handmaids with damp souls, meaning they lack the passion and heart for living since they live a life of squalor. And his writing is very simplistic because it's not hard to decipher the sights he has seen through his word choices. And there's also a lack of rhythm. Eliot chose not to include any rhyme schemes, but I think the lack of rhyming adds to the gloomy mood of this piece because it just adds to the element of boredom and apathy. I think the motive behind Eliot writing this is because he wanted to challenge romantic writing and poetry since they're polar opposites. Romantic poetry primarily focuses on individualism, freedom, spontaneity, and imagination. I think he wanted to write about the real world, not what we want it to be or imagine it to be. The title he chose also plays a huge role because of the emotions and thoughts it invokes. I decided on which poem I was going to choose merely based on the title. I didn't read any of them yet. When I read Morning at the Window, I instantly wanted to analyze that one. I thought of sitting on a window seat, soaking in the sunlight and looking out the window. But the poem contradicts the title, hinting at the presence of irony, another trait of modern poetry. Overall, I did enjoy the poem. Despite its depressing and dark mood, I enjoyed it. I weirdly enjoyed it. I tend to favor writing that is more happy and bright, but I did like this piece. I like pieces that are realistic because although we all like the escaping real life, sometimes I like to relish in it for some weird reason. I think T.S. Eliot did a great job with just 2 stanzas because of the despondency and grief that life offers. I believe the majority of people can relate to struggle and sometimes resorting to negative emotions and pessimistic views and behavior due to how debilitating life can be. I see more poverty than I do prosperity. I see more struggles than I do victory. I personally favor modern writing over romantic just because I tend to relate more to the portrayals of life modern writers make use of. It's just more realistic, and that's the type of person I am, with the exception of some areas. I don't know what T.S. Eliot's intentions were when writing this, but I'm really glad he went this route.